All right, welcome to trail cam footage from 2021. We start off with this poor little guy. It's a spike that's actually missing most of his right antler. This next video, or several videos, is I think it's 17 clips put together of one doe grazing in front of the camera. And I just put this in as a sample for you guys to see everything I had to weed through to come up with this compilation. You know, you're excited when you go to check your camera because there's 5 folders worth of footage, and then half of them turn out to be 1 or 2 deer eating the little bushes in front of your camera for what seems like hours. This next clip is just a little 3 doe herd just kind of peacefully grazing in front of the camera. And then the next one is a turkey hen. They got pretty close. I don't know if she was actually looking at the camera or what, but it was actually pretty close to the camera in this one clearing. The next clip, not sure what was going on with my camera here, but it was the only moose that I had footage of, so I thought better include that. Pretty huge animal even at this distance. This was odd. It's October 5th and the fawn is still nursing. Really weird. It seems like it's a bit late, but hey, I guess that's why we don't shoot does with fawns. This is a different camera location, and just a herd kind of passing through, grazing through. This next one is kind of cool. See how her tail's up? That white flag shows that she's really nervous about something. Not sure what, but here in this next clip, you'll see that she really is nervous. She ran off, came back, tail is still up there in the air. That white flag is a warning to other deer. And here she just bolts into the woods out of this clearing. This was cool. Several videos of a deer and turkeys together just in front of the camera hanging out. This one I just chose because of how close she got and how she looked right into the camera. It's kind of cool. I actually kind of like the fact that this camera's quality seems a little better at night. This is the first decent buck that I caught. All these videos are chronologically organized. This happened a couple times. I guess squirrel was just hanging out on top of the trail cam. Kind of makes sense. It's a little ledge for him to sit on. This one was of a doe just scratching her ear. She used her rear right leg, scratching away. Another shot of some turkeys. I had quite a bit of them actually, just hanging out in this little clearing. This was a night shot. This doe was acting weird. See how she's like stumbling sideways? I don't know if she's hurt or what, but it's kind of weird. Here's another one of those shots. Deer and turkeys eating together. Neither one of them seems to be at all nervous about the other species. Kind of cool. Look at the size of that bear. That's big. His legs seem so stubby because his belly hangs down. That is a big bear. Here's one of the squirrel actually climbing down the face of the camera. Interesting. There's a little buck. I think it's like a 2x2, 3x3, but still. This next shot is kind of cool too. Just a coyote. You see how that red light got his attention. The red light on the camera, I mean. And then in the next clip, I think it's about 30 seconds or a minute later, is the rest of the little pack or group. I've only caught coyotes on one other camera in this area. Here's that big bear again. I'm not sure if it's the same one. If it isn't, it's another very big bear. You're going to see some daytime footage of him here. I don't think this is the same one. He doesn't seem as big, but still a mature bear. Got almost a brownish tinge to him. And this was, I think, the biggest flock of turkeys that I caught on camera. A good sized group here. All hens by the looks of it, but I never really looked too close. Look how tall this buck's antlers are. He's only 4x4, so an 8-pointer. But man, are they tall. And you'll see him at a distance here in the next clip or so. And this is him again with another one that's actually a 10-pointer, technically speaking, 5x5. the one close to the camera, and then we see another little one far away. And then this next one, something makes them nervous and they run off. Pay attention. You can still see how big that deer is, even at that distance. Look at that rack, how it stands out. That is pretty impressive. Never saw him during hunting season. Wish I had, though. Here's a little guy, just kind of nosing through. The fact that those 3 deer were all together tells us that that is pre-rut. They are not looking for does yet. This is a big group of does. I don't know that I've ever seen a group this big all together until after the rut in the wintertime. See how she's stomping, this doe here? That's she's also nervous about something. Her tail's not up, but she's stomping. She does not like it. This next clip is interesting. Their bedding area, the one I usually see them in, is actually about 400 yards due west. And this one's just sitting there chewing her cud in the background there. All right, admit it. You had no idea that that big dumb bird you eat on Thanksgiving can actually run that fast. That's impressive. This is some interesting footage. I guess it's last light, so grainy, but that's a decent buck. Here's another big black bear. I don't think this is the first one we saw, the real big one, but still mature. Next clip is of a smaller bear, but well, that might be the same one. It's still respectable, definitely a shooter. If you look to the right here, you'll actually see this big bear come out of the on screen. Yeah, that's a big bear. There's a tiny little buck, just 2 by 2 by the looks of it. His body's small too, you can tell he's immature. There's a bull elk sauntering away from the camera. Not huge, but I'd shoot him. This little 4x4, if you look at behind the trees there, I don't know if he doesn't like the light or he's looking at the tree or what, but he never does come out. There's 3 clips of him like that, shy. And I may have actually seen him on the last day I hunted this year, but I did not take a shot at him. He didn't give me a chance, or I didn't take the chance that I had. But yeah, he just kind of stayed behind those trees. This guy looks straight into the camera. That red light catches their eye, especially the more mature bucks. You'll see a really mature one here soon. And this little forker just kind of walking past. I think my camera glitched out at the end there. Or maybe he did actually stop. This is a decent buck. Notice how we're moving into November now and we're seeing more and more bucks. There's another one walking right in front of the camera. So that rut is starting to crank up. They're starting to separate into groups, or separate from their groups. This is the best buck, in my opinion, that I caught. Look at those brow tines, so tall, symmetrical. And he was really nervous, even at night looking at that camera. There's a little guy walking through. It started snowing. November 10th here. This footage is foggy, but it's 2 elk. If you look at the last second or so of this clip, another bull walks out of the right. There he is. Not big, raghorn really, but still. This footage also, they're not grazing, but for some reason, I guess they're grooming. I've never seen this before. 2 does just see, they're grooming. I had to fast forward, and there's 5 clips, looks like, of just them licking each other. I'm not sure what they're doing, but I just stood in front of the camera and did this for quite a while. There's another little guy walks right in front of the camera. There was a faint trail there. I noticed, I believe, either when I picked it up or hung it up. This is interesting. A doe runs by with a little tiny buck behind her, and then the buck stops back there. You can kind of see his eyes glowing. He's looking back. It's like a soap opera unfolding. And then this big guy walks by. That's a pretty good buck. And he walks by, he's following them. And then you'll see the doe run by here. Yep. And then you see the little guy, he's turning back looking at something, doesn't care about the camera. And then you see that big buck comes and straight up chases him away. So I take it that doe now belongs to that big buck. This is a little spike, just walking around the meadow, not chasing does or anything. And that's a decent deer. And you'll also, as the video goes on, pay attention how their necks start to swell up too from the rut. This is cool. Doe just walking past, and I actually slowed the footage down because he only pops out at the last second, but there is a buck following her. You see his nose is straight forward. He's following her scent. There's a little forker just walking past. And then this is a little spike. Again, the little deer don't really seem to be chasing does. They're just walking by. This is cool footage because how orange and bright he seems in contrast to the snow and the forest around him. Almost doesn't seem like he's camouflaged. There is another really good buck. Well, it's not another one. It's that same one we saw earlier. I'm going to freeze it here. Almost exactly 3 weeks, and it's only 2 shots of him. I zoomed in. You can see exactly the same deer. Here's a average, I guess, deer, if we can call him that. And that's the last deer on the clip. And this last one is Yuri, my brother-in-law, and myself. I'm pretty excited pointing out the tracks in the snow right in front of the camera. And that's it. Thanks for watching it, guys. And those of you who know where my cameras are, let's keep that information on the down low, shall we?